All right, let's start. So distance and coordinate plane, and that will be our second to the last topic in this unit. So, but before we go ahead for that topic, let's talk about something that we could share. You won a lottery and you like to share your blessings to the homeless because we know that there are a lot of homeless people in New York City these days. So, would you rather give food or cash? Why is that? I'll give you a minute to write your answer and I'll be back with you. All right, let's start some share. I would like to share at least one or two or three. Mia, I like that. Go ahead, May.
I would choose food because if you give them money, you don't really know what they would buy. They would buy like maybe things they don't really need. They'll probably buy things they want instead of things they need.
Correct.
So you should give them food.
That's a good idea. Thank you. All right, who would like to share more? I know somebody raised hand. Christine, go ahead, Chris.
I would rather give them money than food because with money it allows them to buy things like shelter and clothes because they also need that, not just food. And like it doesn't really make sense I don't really think it makes sense for them to just buy whatever they want because they're homeless, so they would know what they need, wouldn't they?
No, that's true. So everybody is like have an opinion on how do we look at things. That's correct too. Anybody else would like to share? All share is right. No one is wrong with that. They can go to the hotel, Justin. Um, I don't think they would like to do that. I don't think they would like to spend their money in the hotel. You know how much hotel costs. Anybody would like to share more? So here I would like to read this one. Food because they might use money to buy drugs and vodka. That's another idea. Like that's why we don't give them money. I would give them cash because they can use it in the cash to buy food and any other stuff. That is also true that we could that they might need more than food. How about medicine? Like let's give them a benefit of the doubt that they are really homeless and they don't really have something, and if they're sick, they could buy something else or they could buy a coat, a sweater, a new shirt, food because if you give them cash they might think yes that they might buy things that they don't need. That is also true, but probably cash because everyone has their own choice what to eat or wear. Yes, that is really true. So maybe they still have still food. So there are in my other class they said they might have more food right now in their bag, and if they give them food it's just gonna spoil, so money could save it for the next food that they need for the next day, not just for that particular day. So everybody has a reason which is acceptable. No, I feel just bad that we're in New York. We're supposed to be the most amazing states, but in reality there are still people that doesn't have anything to eat or nowhere to live, right? We're lucky. All right, anyways, thank you for the share, guys. Oh, Sophia, you want to share more?
Yeah, like for example, if it was a woman,
Uh-huh.
then you would probably give them money instead of just food
Yeah.
if they're homeless, because that's really tough.
Yeah, it's really, really tough. I know. I see a lot of, before COVID, I see a lot in the subway. They live there or they go under the bridges, like it's sad. But what can we do? Life is tough. Even it's in New York City. They think New York the most amazing place. There are still people who really need help. All right. Thank you, guys. So let's move on. So today we're going to find the distance between 2 points or locations by using the coordinates and absolute value. So you just have to listen to the videos, guys. So the first one, today's lesson 2.5. Yesterday we did lesson 2.4. So exercise 1 today is vertical distance. Vertical means from the y-axis distance. So let's see how it works. I click it here. I hope this work for me in Sabas. Sometimes it doesn't, but oh, it's working funny. All right, so let's listen to this video. Let's move it a little bit bigger so I could see everything. There you go.
How can you find the distance between 2 points on a coordinate plane? Think about this question during the lesson. Tammy drew a map of her neighborhood. How far is it from Lee's house to the school? Are Lee's house and the school on the same horizontal or vertical grid line? Lee's house and the school are on the same vertical grid line. Find the coordinates of Lee's house and the school. How do you find the ordered pairs for Lee's house and the school? For each location, start at the origin and move along the x-axis and then along the y-axis. Then record the coordinates as an ordered pair. What are the coordinates for Lee's house?
All right, guys. So
select your answer.
With that, what are the coordinates of Lee's house? So Lee's house is located here. The school is located here. So Sophia, what will it be?
-4, -3.
So we go to the x first, to -4, and then -3. Is that correct, Mansi?
Yes.
All right, so let's try that. -4, -3.
The coordinates for Lee's house are -4, -3. The coordinates for the school are -4, 2. What do you notice about the x-coordinates of Lee's house and the school?
So what did you notice, guys, between the coordinates of the school and Lee's house? What can we say about their coordinates? Tiffany? Tiffany Chen?
Okay, I noticed that they are a reflection or of each other, kind of.
Remember, reflection is on the same spot, but this is
Oh.
-3 and 2. So what else have you noticed other than it could be a reflection? Kishan said it could be 5 units away from each other. How about the coordinates? What did you notice about their coordinates, the x and the y? So here you could say, here you could say that the x is, well, they are on the same x-axis, right? So -4 and -4, they are the same, but the y is just in the different location. One is in quadrant 2 and one is in quadrant 3. So let's listen for this. Tiffany, you're gonna get more of it later, don't worry. Wait.
The x-coordinates are the same. Because the x-coordinates are the same, you can use the y-coordinates to find the distance between Lee's house and the school.
You can use what you know about absolute value to find distances.
The absolute values of the y-coordinates tell you the distance between each point and the x-axis. This distance is the absolute value of 2, or 2. This distance is the absolute value of -3, or 3.
So with that said, we're looking for the distance like in between them, in between the axis, right? So from this x-axis to school, it's 2 units, and from the x-axis to Lee's house is 3 units. It just happened that Lee's house is located at different quadrant from the school. It's y of Lee's house is in the negative side. That's why it's -3. But it says the absolute value of -3 is 3 and the absolute value of 2 is 2. That's why you guys said in the chat that the distance is 5.
The distance from Lee's house to school is the absolute value of 2 plus the absolute value of -3 equals 2 plus 3 equals 5 miles. Why do you add the distances between each point and the x-axis to find the total distance from Lee's house to the school?
This is one of the most important question that we need to understand. Why are we adding the distance of school and the school to the x-axis and the distance of the x-axis to Lee's house? Why are we adding them? Why did we add 2 and 3 to get 5 units of 5 miles? Why can't we just subtract them? Why add? Go ahead.
You're finding the total distance from Lee's house to the school.
Okay, because we're looking for the total distance from this point to this point and from that point to that point. Are they on the same quadrant? Christine? Kishan said no. All right. So, guys, they are not on the same quadrant. And that is also one clue that when they are not on the same quadrant, we add the distance between each other. Okay? Let's look at the next one.
You add the distances between each point and the x-axis because the two distances combined result in the total distance between Lee's house and the school.
All right, so that will be your example 1, and then later on you're gonna go to this page to work for this one. All right, so let's go to our exercise number 2. The school is in quadrant 2, and the Lee's house is in quadrant 3. That is correct. So exercise number 2 is horizontal distance. Number 1 was vertical. Let's see what is this about. So let's listen to this one.
The Coulter family starts at their home and stops at a rest stop to eat lunch. How much farther do they need to drive to get to the water park? Use coordinates to find the distance.
What have you noticed in this picture? Sophia, what do you guys notice in this picture? I need to see names. Anyone? Where are they located? Are they all located in the same line, the same axis? Are they
They have the same y coordinate.
Very nice observation. They have all the same y coordinates. So they are all on the straight line. They're all in horizontal line. Let's see what the question is. So use the coordinates to find the distance. Okay, so this is the house. They go to the rest stop. From the rest stop, they need to go to the water park. So let's see. So here it says, how much farther do they need to drive to get to the water park? Use the coordinates to find the distance. So from rest stop to the water park. The y coordinate are the same, as Mansi said. So use the absolute value of the x coordinates to find the distance. And then subtract the absolute value. So working on this problem over here, so this is the coordinates of the water park and this is the coordinate of the rest stop. And since they are on the same y coordinates, we're just gonna get the absolute value of the x and then subtract them. And I could not move on to the bottom part. So why do we subtract this one? Why do we subtract instead of add? Mansi.
They're both on the same quadrant.
They are both on the
They're
same.
both in quadrant 3.
Yes, they are both on the same quadrant, and once they are in the same quadrant, you're just finding that small distance, not from the other side. So if that's the house to the park, you could find the house to that point where the y-axis is, then the water to that point where the y-axis, and you just add. Or you know what? Simply the other class said to just count from here to there. So, but anyways, we're looking for the rest stop to the water park. So we subtract them and we are in the same quadrant. Very nice observation. Question for that one. So again, when they are on different quadrant, we add the distance. But we know that our reference are the axis. And then if they are on the same quadrant, we just take away the difference. Okay, so let's go to our next one. Exercise number 3 is solving problems using distance. The coordinates, the point. So let's see what the problem is, if you notice over here. I hope it fits in. Good, it fits. The only thing is I could not click the play button. I'll move this and the place here.
Point B is on the x-axis and has the same x-coordinate as point A. Point C has an x-coordinate of -2 and a y-coordinate of n. The distance from point A to point C is equal to the distance from point A to point B. What is the value of n?
So if you look very carefully, the situation is A and B is the same distance between A and C. We know that C is at -2 and we don't know the y coordinate with that, but we know that they are on the same spot. The A, we know that it is on the 5 of x, and we don't know where is the y, but we also know that they are on the same spot. And A and B are on the same x coordinate. Question is, how will you know how to find n? What will you do first? Anybody who's brave enough to say something and how we find the n? There will be 2 steps you need to know. Anyone? Kishan, are you brave enough today? Mansi?
Maybe find the x coordinate of C and then find the x coordinate of A.
Okay. So how do we do that?
Y coordinate.
Do you have an idea how we're gonna find that?
Maybe start at the point and then count up.
The problem is there's no there's no stripe here that will tell me where I am. But that's a good idea. Anybody else have a different idea on how we were able to find n? There will be 2 steps you're gonna know first. No? So I'll give you a hint. What's the distance between C to A? How far is C? How far is point C to point A? Ada?
7.
How did you get 7, Ada?
Because the absolute value of -2 is 2 and absolute value of 5 is 5, and you add them together, which is 7.
Oh, so that is a very good observation. So from C to A is 7 units. That's correct, Mansi. So therefore, from A to B is 7 units because it says A to C is equal to the distance of A to B. With that said, what is n? Ada, go ahead.
It's 7.
How do you know?
Because if the distance was the same, and then that was basically on the x coordinate, the 5 is x, and then the y is going to be 7 because it's the distance from the A to B.
Very good. That's cool. So what is the y coordinate of B here? If x, for the B, if x is 5, the y is, where is it? Is it moving anywhere else? The y will be what? No one knows. So let's see what it says. But if it doesn't move, what is that? Is that negative number, a positive number, or it doesn't move, it stays there? So what is that number that stays there, doesn't move?
Positive?
Is a positive number? Give me a particular number. Mansi said y is 0. How did you figure that out, Mansi?
Because, well, it doesn't go up or down because the y goes up or down. It's on the x coordinate. It's not on the y. It's nowhere near the y.
Correct. Thank you for that. So let's play and see what it is.
The distance between points A and B can't be determined without knowing the value of n, which is the y-coordinate of point A. The distance between points A and C can be found. The points have the same y-coordinate and are in different quadrants. You can add the absolute values of the x-coordinates to find the horizontal distance. The absolute value of -2 is 2. The absolute value of 5 is 5. 2 plus 5 equals 7. So the distance from point A to point C is 7 units.
So there you go, 7 units.
This means that the distance from point A to point B is also 7 units. The ordered pair, 5, 0, describes the location of point B. The difference of the y-coordinates of point A and B is 7. So, n is equal to 7.